Do I what?
Connected. Is it a USB
Yeah,
mic?
it's a USB mic.
Okay. Do you have the cable if you want to try it out?
It's already, that's what I'm using right now is the toner mic for
Oh
audio.
shit. Okay. Yeah. No, never mind. That's
So,
horrible. Um,
cool. I'm not a podcaster, bro.
yeah. Fuck your mic. I'm muting
I know.
you.
I'm like,
You degenerate
I know.
non-podcaster.
Thank
How
you so
dare
much
you?
for that. Thank you. Thank you. I need to get my fucking life together. Clearly.
Seriously. It's 2024. If you're not podcast,
Bro, I'm like an old grandma when it comes to technology. I'm like, give me my rotary phone.
How, I'm going to find a mic that is a rotary phone, and you can only use that on our episodes.
Can you
like with the cord and everything. And if it's the last thing I do, if I go into credit card debt, finding a professional mic that sounds amazing with a rotary style, just to make sure we have clips.
I really doubt that exists. I really doubt that it exists, but
that's fair. Yeah. That's fair.
Good luck, though.
Then the entire goal for this year is to make a company just for that. So it'll be successful. We'll have at least one customer.
You have some very interesting goals for this year.
It's evolving. It's fine.
Therapist
says it's
Shoot
okay.
for the stars. Shoot for the stars.
Shoot for the stars.
Yeah. If I need to get other equipment to make this easier, or if it's easier to do it in person, where do you live? Where?
Mansfield.
Oh, of course you do.
You're in McKinney, right?
Sure am. That's a try.
Good. Physiologically, we both have a response to doing this in person.
Yes.
I think we're definitely not the same people. We're very different from each other.
Yeah.
And I think result in that's exactly what I'm looking for is someone that's aligned in the areas that matters to me, and then everywhere else I don't want a yes person. Like, you absolutely have your own opinions.
Oh, thank you. I've been told I'm a little opinionated, but I am.
It's a good thing.
Yeah.
It means you at least think for yourself, and like the whole defending it, maybe calm down, let me mute you. But
yeah,
no, I'm kidding.
Don't do it.
That's gonna be so fun. Yeah. If you were in person, that'd be just so easy. Like, I just reach over and mute you on my mixer.
Oh, I know. That would be great. Yeah. Awesome.
But now this one, I got to reach my hand over, hit the laptop, scroll over. Ugh, there's so much friction in like canceling.
Oh, sorry. It's going to be a pain in the ass. Sorry, not sorry.
Hey, Amanda, stop. I'm talking. So there's no end goal with this podcast. 5 to 10 years down the road, the success it might be, it might not be. I just realized I just want to do this every week, and I want it to be convenient. This whole getting guests together is such a pain in the ass, even for a beginner. Even though every episode I publish, it gets amazing feedback and like it sounds professional, and all the comments sound like it should be a bigger podcast. Yeah. But if I do it virtually, I know in the beginning stages, it will be so much more compatible for what I want to do anyway. Because at the end of the week, there's always something that resonates with me the entire week, like a lesson or something about relationships, something about self-growth, something about perspective. Mm-hmm. That's exactly what goes on in my head. And from time to time, if I have good friends throughout the week, of course, I'll talk about it with them or have a call with them. And that's just who I am as a person. Right? I feel like you're probably that person too, where you like more deep, meaningful conversations along with some dark humor and a little diet racism. I'm just accusing you of that, even though you've never been racist. I just do that to white people all the time. It's fun.
You know what? For everything else, yes. Maybe not the last one, not the latter, but yes, I'm the same way.
Great answer. I just muted the parts where you denied the rest, but great answer.
Oh God, I can't wait to see post-production. It's going to be great.
Your attractive level will also help with this. Like, I'm gonna abuse the shit out of that.
I'll wear makeup that day. I have no makeup on right now, but I will wear makeup that day. Okay, when we actually like fully run.
You definitely do not have to. Whatever makes you feel the most authentic. Like, you look great. You're still as hot as
I don't feel inauthentic if I'm wearing makeup. I'm not one of those people. I'm not trying to hide my face with makeup. It's just, it's normal for me. So
good. Yeah. Good. Yeah, it's whatever you want to do. I won't say any. There's no requirements for that, but yeah, like genuinely talking, you look as beautiful as ever.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
And I don't have to say that to you because I have nothing to gain from it. You know, it's true.
I know it is, and I appreciate it.
Two perspectives from two different people on topics. We went over that. Yeah, it's a part of me I've hidden for a long time. One of the reasons I wasn't able to get over my ex for now almost the past 2 years is because that was the one person I shared so much of myself with. The way I'm talking to you right now, it would usually be very limited to someone like her.
Yeah.
So I just found I could express myself to, and that, unfulfilled stories, unfulfilled fantasies, all those things add up, and it's just a loop in your head,
Yep.
So
Yep. The ruminating thoughts.
yeah,
Yep.
that seemed to really hit with you. Did you have a thought go off in your head?
Yeah, I think because we've all experienced that. I think you have that one person that you like deeply connected with. And I think when you start trying to like date after that, everything else feels unfulfilling, maybe because it wasn't like that. So I think we all have that one relationship. I have that relationship. It was my last actual relationship. And like earlier today, we just had a video chat, him and I, because he lives in Costa Rica. And at the end of the relationship, obviously, relationships don't end in a great way usually, and ours didn't either. But we just had a very healthy conversation now, almost a year later. And it was just having that conversation with him, realizing how deeply we connected, even though the relationship didn't work out. Trust me, I completely understand the situation with your ex. I get it.
Yeah, and it's so hard to get rid of them from your life entirely. Like, you're still having conversations with your ex, and you're dating right now too. Sure, you think about that, how you might want to navigate that, but I don't know if that's the person you had your child with. That obviously changes.
Yeah,
things,
no, it's not.
Have to.
That guy was a douchebag.
Okay. Okay, so douche baby daddy, fuck him.
Literally.
Zero ruminate. Yeah, zero good cooking over there.
Yeah, no.
I don't know. Is that a thought? Do you want to stop talking to him before, like, dating out there?
I think it was like, I don't know. I think it was good to have that conversation with him today because I realized the way he's an amazing human being, and he just had a lot of inner childhood wounds that he hadn't fully healed, and it caused a lot of, you know how it is, like a relationship. You can be fine when you're single. You get into a relationship and it is like a mirror of all your childhood wounds. He wants to be on the show too. So but even then, with our fights and things like that, I don't think I will ever find somebody who I had that deep of a connection with and who like loved me purely authentically in the way that he does. Like, and so now that I'm dating and like, I've dated some good guys, but it's nothing really compares to that. And I know everything takes time to evolve, but I don't know. Maybe I'll die alone.
Okay. Jesus, damn. You escalated so quickly.
I know, because
at least it was honest.
I know, but when you have something like that, it's if I can't find something else like that, then I don't want to settle either. So for me, I'd rather be happy and alone than settle for less than I feel like I deserve or a lesser connection.
Yeah, 100%. Because you'll always feel that, even in dating, even if it's a couple months in, you're like, fuck, it's okay. And we're good. There's chemistry, there's compatibility. But like, it's not the toxic things I'm missing. It's the actual connection. Like the way anything, there's always humor. There was always a spark, something like that, right?
Yeah. Is that how it was with your
addicting. Oh, yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Fuck.
I was like best friend. Yeah. Best friend, just always knew what to say, even on the romantic sides, like valued all the things I valued on like love language type things. And then until she was like, okay, this is too scary. I didn't want any commitment in my life for a while. She was also older than me. There was an age gap, and that was compatibility. Of course.
Okay. How much older was she?
Okay, so 15 years.
How much?
God damn it. 15 years. She was 40.
Oh, okay. I'm 40. I'll be 40. Yeah. But my ex was actually 10 years younger than me, but extremely emotionally mature. Maybe there's something with those big age gaps.
I mean, we're obviously learning things a lot faster, but also it's just DNA. Obviously, not everyone my age is going to like someone in their 40s, let alone a lot of people in their 40s are stupid as shit.
Yeah,
so it's like, the experience is there.
Right.
The mentality might be stupid as shit. Same thing. Like, yeah, there's 25-year-olds, and I think I was 25 at that time.
Oh, they're a baby.
Yeah, I was a baby for sure. Now, in hindsight, you never want to believe that. But in hindsight, yes. I felt like I grew up good amount right before meeting her and dating her. And what just happened was the patterns and loops that I didn't recognize, which was abandoning myself as soon as there is some attention from someone that I want the attention from, like actual, like when we skip the ego stage of getting the attention, like, oh, okay, now I don't really want that person.
Right. Yep.
Then it's like ego, and now I do want this attention from that
Yep.
person. Oh, fuck. I'm going to abandon myself
Mhm.
and not pay attention to compatibility and how much that matters.
Yep.
That's what happened.
Are you
So that's
more
where most of the
anxious
shade.
attachment? Do you know your
Yeah, I
attachment
can tell you.
style?
Yeah, fearful avoidant.
Oh, are you?
Yeah,
Ooh, you're
yeah.
like one of you're it's 4%. Is that yeah, is that type of attachment. That's crazy. My best guy
I didn't
friend is
know it
the
was rare.
same. And so I like to pick his brain because I feel like it's so interesting. It's so different from my own.
Why is that? I'm curious.
I think it's just a really, I think because that attachment style is very polarizing to have like such big parts
Mm.
of anxious attachment and avoidant attachment at the same time. Like this need to get close, and then this fear of closeness, and then like the self abandoning on the anxious side. And then, yeah, it's for me because my brain doesn't work that way. Like
The duality.
the duality. Yeah, my brain is, it's hard to even fully comprehend it. So I like learning about it and not like textbook learning, but hearing it from someone who has that attachment style. It's so interesting.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I can't understand another one like dismissive avoidant. I don't understand like how can you even be that type of person? And which she didn't take the test with me or anything, but I'm pretty sure she was a dismissive avoidant. Like, how does your brain operate? Like, you suck.
Oh, I know. It all stems from the same thing though. It's a fear of a loss of love. It's just a reaction to it in a different way based on your attachment style. So it all comes down to the same shit. We're all afraid of losing love or getting too close or for the fear of loss on the avoidant side, or we're like smothering that love out of fear of loss on the anxious side. So it's all the same shit, just a different way of going about that loss.
That's actually a really comprehensive and empathetic way of looking at it. And I appreciate you for sharing that because part of me like is like, how do dismissive avoidance are even capable of love? What, that was their intention? That's
Yeah.
hard.
Yeah. It doesn't feel like they are. They're so terrified of losing it that they just, because I've dated someone who was extremely dismissive avoidant. And it really feels like they don't have the capacity to love at all. They do. They're just so terrified. They got to push away because they don't want to obtain it and then lose it. That's like their biggest fear. So push away so you never get to that
Mm.
point. Tough.
What was your style?
So primarily for a very long time I was anxious attachment. After
Mm.
therapy and like in healthy relationships I'm secure attachment. And for me because I still have traits of anxious. So like on my list of non-negotiables for dating, I cannot date an avoidant. I cannot. Like that would be suffering for me the whole relationship. So on first dates, second dates, whatever, I'm very quick to pinpoint like what their attachment style is. And I'm like, if you're avoidant, I am the fuck out of here.
Boundary setting on dating is very new, and that's one of the things on my list of this series I want to do is foreign concepts.
Mhm.
Like same thing, like you don't know what a fearful avoidant is, that's a foreign concept to you. But there's so many foreign concepts that even though it seems completely out of reach, we will never be that type of mentality. I've had so many that have come true, and I can finally be in that foreign mentality. Like setting boundaries. That was a complete mind fuck. What? That's the thing you do? That's the
Same.
thing people do, especially what? You can do that with family. You can say no to family. And it's like, how is that a good thing? They figure it out themselves and you let them grow instead of depending on you. So you're actually not you're not doing them a disservice by saying yes all the time. Like, that's a foreign concept. Now a year down the road, like, oh, that's beautiful.
Uh-huh. No, I love that. Learning boundaries was, damn, that was like a pivotal point in my life because I was never taught to have
Mm.
boundaries and I had to be like the people pleaser, yes person. And like developing boundaries for myself has changed my life in probably one of the biggest ways. Yay, boundaries.
Yeah, I never thought boundaries would be a yay thing. I was like, is that just like a limiting factor in my life? Is it something I can work on to not have boundaries and I can just be at peace all the time? Like my roommate, nothing phases him. Just everything goes off of his shoulder. And that means no one hates him and everyone loves him. And it's just like, how can you not just fucking fun all the time.
Yeah.
You don't get upset with anyone. You don't get angry. You might be stupid from time to time, but still, it's amazing. Nothing affects you.
I wish I was that way.
I partially do, and then I just look at it. Man, most human beings are not that way. It's just such a rare breed to find someone that's just completely unfazed all the time.
Yeah, I can't be.
I'm convinced what made him a millionaire. I'm convinced because like he can just focus on things and be unfazed. So that's 100% the reason he can start up the McLaren under the garage and wake me up every morning.
Yeah, no, that does make sense though, especially like having that kind of personality in business, because if shit falls apart, like a lot of times people will like just panic and focus so much on that and not push through to the next thing. So I've seen that in business myself with people that are more so unfazed by things because they don't care if shit's falling apart. They push through and they make the next thing work. And I'm like, okay, you go.
It's interesting. Would you want to be that person? It's one of those things, like it's a foreign concept, but there'd be a lot of value if it did end up happening, maybe, right? But that's one thing I'm trying to understand about foreign concepts too, is like if it's not within your reach and it's something you're just trying to have an open mind about, you'll find out within time if it's something that's for you or not.
Right. Yeah. But it doesn't hurt to learn about all of it, see if it's something you want to implement or if it's something you care about or not. I love learning.
I'm curious with so you're 40 years young and you've dated 10 years younger, age gap. Part of this show, what I want to do is highlight also me, 27-year-old male, and my counterpart would be I have another 27, 28-year-old female, and we share our opinions on that. And then you being about, let's just say 10 years younger, a decade. So you're another generation in a way.
Yeah.
Separated, and I think that shows perspective too. So that's like one of the things I want to pick your brain on. So even for you, one of the things, age gap for you, how does that feel? Is that a compatibility issue with you, or is that something you put aside, or do you have an ideal age range?
No, I would say I don't have an ideal age range because I have dated men in their 50s who they have the emotional maturity of a 16-year-old boy. And then my ex, who was 10 years younger than me, had the emotional maturity of an 85-year-old man. So I don't care about age. I'm not going to date someone 20 years younger than me, obviously, because that's weird. And I'm not going to date probably somebody in their 60s or 70s just out of preference. But otherwise, like age doesn't matter.
Sugar baby and
okay. That's not for me. Neither of those roles are for me.
Okay. So. Thank God. Okay. I wasn't sure if I was dealing with a monster.
Yeah, no.
God, Amanda. I think I love you, so I'm glad you clarified that.
I appreciate that.
The other one, it's all of these relate, like relationships, self-growth, perspective. They're pretty much almost the same thing, right? But we'll find some separation. So every week something can be in your mind, and that's what I'm going to try to take notes on throughout my weeks, is like what is on my head this week that I would like to express with someone that I have a conversation with, and your dog as well, of course.
Dude, let him be on the podcast because
bring him on. I'm sure
a lot of opinions.
Yeah, he provides value.
He's cute. He's cute. I'm the same way as you. There's usually there's some situation going on in my life where I need to reflect on something, and I swear it changes like weekly. And so I will have something as like my primary focus of the week, or things I'm trying to work on within myself, or problematic things I'm seeing in dating. And so it's like stuff that I do think about during the week. So
nice.
Did you break your light?
Said something. You said, I think you're trying out better. You said something so brilliant that it just ended everything. Let me go turn on some horrible, crappy lights.
I'm awesome. What can I say?
I'm embarrassed to have this type of lighting, but we'll do it.
Oh my God. You're a podcast prima donna. I love it.
That's such a good compliment. I'm officially one of those.
I can see that. I love it.
Pod dude.
If you're going to do it right. So this is like your passion. Put your all into it. You want it to look good, sound good. I support it.
Yeah. And then there's just people like you that make me feel bad.
I pretended I was a nice person, but this is the real me.
I could tell, like, you're way too hot to be this nice.
I'm nice most of the time. I'm very sarcastic, but I'm nice most of the time.
You're an asshat. We'll talk about a few, but this still being a test, I might even actually publish this. Honestly, we got some good topics out of it.
Okay.
We'll always try to keep it within an hour,
Okay.
not only for your and I's convenience, but also to actually the audience can expect this is what my commitment to whenever I listen.
Yeah, that's good. The
So it's kind of a, if it goes on a little bit longer, that's fine. If it goes a little shorter, that's fine.
Okay.
But yeah, somewhere around.
Okay.
I wanted to ask you, what was your focus this week, actually?
I think it's been dating and what can trigger like your inner child wounds while you're dating that are not
Mm,
necessarily the other person. We just feel like it's the other person, but a lot of times it's stuff from our past being triggered. So, and I'm being a therapist for one of my best girlfriends right now who is a month into meeting this dude on Hinge who lives in Florida, who is now coming here tomorrow to meet her. But yeah, a lot of the conversations like she's had, like she's feeling triggered by things that I don't feel are necessarily, but more so those like inner beliefs and like your core beliefs from childhood. So that's been my focus this week and asking myself, like, when have I felt triggered like that, where it
mhm.
wasn't really the other person, it was like my own experiences and conditioning.
Yeah, that's with as much inner growth and self work you've done for yourself, seeing someone else go through that, it's especially if it's close to you. Of course, they can make therapists inside you come out, but of course, it reminds you how much you might have grown or how much you still have to work on.
Mhm.
Which part did it remind you of what you were?
I think it was both. Like, I can see how far I've come, but I can see the things that I still have to work on. Like, I don't think like self growth has an endpoint. Like it's really a journey throughout your life. And whether it's like healing childhood wounds or just becoming a better person or a healthier person overall, like it's something that continues for the rest of your life. And I think just reflecting on her situation, I'm like, okay, like I've definitely come really far in my work. But when I was on a date last week, or, because I was dating this guy on and off for a few dates, and there were things that would trigger me that I was like, okay, maybe it wasn't necessarily him, but something that I should have maybe did some more introspection on before having a conversation with him about it.
What would be an example if you're okay with sharing?
Yeah, so it was like a lack of consistency. Initially a lot of consistency and then a lot of consistency was just like it was missing. Like there was lack of communication. And so for me, I started realizing I had that with my parents a lot and as a child and I'm like, okay, I think especially in the beginning of dating, I think people, especially I think more so women, they want to have that consistent interaction with someone. And doing like this introspection, like this week, I'm realizing that like that incessant texting in the beginning, it creates like a false sense of intimacy. Like it's not real. And so I think because there's really no rules for dating. And I think that what people's expectations are maybe not reality. And you have to realize, okay, that person's got their own shit going on too. This is very early. Let the relationship evolve and not just have so many expectations from the beginning.
Yeah, that's fair. And that's such a tough balance, too. Because I think it's completely fair that you want consistency in a relationship. That's obviously healthy
Hmm.
for it to trigger you. Yeah, that makes sense, too. Is it something that could be less triggering for you? Sure. And you just drop the boundary immediately and move on. Like, obviously, if they show it now, they'll show it later.
Right.
Could be. Or it could be not enough context either. And maybe they're just having a busy month and they don't owe you right now anyway. I
I
don't know.
know.
But yeah, I agree with. Yeah, the whole depends on how it's
It,
tough.
it is tough because I just like you said, it's like because if I'm in a committed relationship, there has to be consistency. I'm not going to go a day and a half without hearing from you if we are in a committed relationship. So I think I tend to jump the gun sometimes because I don't want to say my boundaries are rigid. Maybe they're a little rigid, but it's more so from a self preservation standpoint. And I want to ensure like anyone that I'm getting involved with down the road is going to be able to meet my needs. And I feel like, okay, up front, if you're a shitty communicator, are you going to also be like this throughout the relationship? So I think it's where I'm more likely to be like, cut the cord now. But the depends part is you also do have to give it time to evolve. So is there, I guess what I was thinking about this week is like, is there a time frame that you put on that for that to have evolved? Because I don't want to be like, oh, I'll give him 2 years and see if he gets better. No.
Yeah, a few too many women and men do that, and then they look back and it's a 15-year relationship and kids, and it's tough. So you knew from the beginning.
Yeah.
When is the beginning? That's the challenge. Like how many dates, and even if it's dates, how much substance was in those dates to really get to know that person? Was it real?
Right.
We both wear masks from time to time that hide ourselves, right?
Of course.
So it could be on a date. It could be boosting our ego for maybe 10 minutes of it, and then maybe the rest of it we were real. So
Authentic.
there's so many nuances, really hard to understand. Even with the ex that I taken me 2 years to even remotely get over. In the beginning, when she would always come see me, I used to be a DJ, so she'd come and see me and she would just hang out. She wouldn't drink. She doesn't drink, so I didn't drink either, and
Okay.
we were compatible. She wouldn't even let me buy her Dr. Pepper. She'd buy it herself.
Okay.
Yeah, and she just sit behind me and hug up on me, and like those were great. But I was like, when we actually go on a date, because this has just been us like connecting, that's how immediately fire it was.
Right.
When we actually go on, if she allows it, because she said from the beginning, I don't want relationships. I don't want anything. That's just not for me.
Right.
I was like, okay. And we just both ended up agreeing on a date, and we were like, let's see how it goes. One of my concerns was like, is she going to be boring? Because like, she's just quiet all the time, which is nice that she's good with silence, but like, it's going to be a boring date. Like, I don't know if this was a good idea. I guess after a month of like really connecting, and she ended up obviously not being boring by any means down the road.
Well, that's good.
Especially on that date.
So it was that evolution then. It took that time. But I feel like every relationship's different, right? For it to evolve. I don't know. I need to get it down to a exact science.
Yeah, please do that.
No.
That would do the world a lot of service. That's on you, Amanda. You've taken this responsibility of making that book. Like, if you don't, you're really a shitty person, and your legacy will really be tarnished.
Fuck.
So,
All right.
I
have a lot of pressure on me right now. Fuck, what did I just sign up for?
Yeah. Obviously, there's many moments where we expect a lot out of you from this podcast. There's levels to this shit. And that's just one. You need to have this by next week. Otherwise, we have nothing.
Next week? Bro, I've been thinking about this all week and I have zero understanding still. Zero.
You know, kind of talking it out loud with you, this might be a benefit of the pod. It makes me think there's obviously things that we will not tolerate at all, right? The boundaries we've definitely learned.
Oh, yeah.
Inconsistent communication, I guess that's still nuanced, but there's things you feel like, oh, I really don't want this pattern to come up again.
Mm-hmm.
Like the guy felt like inconsistent love for. I don't know if that was the same guy that bought you a milkshake like after dance class or not.
No, that's a whole other story.
Okay, cool. We'll hear about Mr. Nice Guy.
Mr. Nice
I'm assuming
Guy.
this was one of. Oh, that's another topic. This is the part where duality of me being a man, you being a female. This is where duality comes in. The nice guy thing. I've always thought that was bullshit. Oh, I'm a nice guy. Like, why am I not being paid attention to? Girls are ignoring me. I'm like, you're not nice. You're just fake. You're putting on something, and you're trying to get something out of someone, right?
Bingo.
You're about to click.
Bingo. No, that's exactly what happened. I was like, yeah.
So many men are in that entitled stage. But yeah, go ahead. You have some thoughts.
Overly nice. And when I say overly nice, like, I was having issues with my phone one day and we've been like, I don't know, talking, had our first date, whatever. It was only been like a week and a half. He was very much, do you need me to do anything for you? I know you're busy. And I'm like, my love language is acts of service. So he was like, I know you're very busy. Can I, set up an appointment for you every morning? He was like, do you want me to order you breakfast? And I was like, damn, like, I like this treatment. The problem was it was a fucking facade because all he wanted was sex. And when I told him, listen, I'm not giving that up. Like, I have to feel safe. I have to feel, I need a commitment before that. I'm not just gonna bang you because you're nice. And as soon as we had that conversation, I delivered it in a very healthy manner. He was fucking done being nice. Done. I was like, okay, you can kiss my ass. So yeah, the overly Mr. Nice Guy thing is bullshit.
And that's why I wanted your female perspective on that. Being an attractive woman that's in the field like that, you've experienced a lot of nice guys and probably a lot of assholes. So I wanted a story like, I can, just as you say that, I can see that happening since I was 13. Like, whether it was me doing it or my other friends doing it. And so that's why, like, when we talk on here, like, This podcast is not for advice. It's just two people expressing each other,
Love it.
and we're just recording this con. We'll never give you advice, but
can I ask you a
go ahead.
question about, so when you were playing, just because my brain tries to understand it fully. So when you were playing the nice guy role, it wasn't just to be nice, right? It was to get something from that for the most
Yeah,
part. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
For the most, and usually sex,
Yeah.
whether it be for sex or attention, or someone to like you enough for just you to feel good. Even I've evolved from that from so much, but I'll still catch myself doing it from time to time now. There was a girl I was interested in, but I was like, should I ask her? Should I not? She wasn't my type exactly physically, and I did it anyway. And I guess I am nice, but still, I did it anyway. And that made me feel like I was just being a nice guy asking her out, because obviously I don't see an actual marriage with someone if I'm not, at least I was talking about this with my guy friend, like what scale where do they have to fall into the scale for you to not care about their attractiveness anymore? And now it's all about the other things that matter.
Right.
Because I think there is physical attraction that has to matter. Otherwise, you're either going to cheat, you're going to think about something else, like all those other things,
Yeah.
like it'll dissipate if there's not like balanced level of attraction.
Yes.
So my answer was like 7.8. She's got to be at least a 7.8.
Okay.
At least that. I can't go lower than that. Otherwise, there'll be something in my head that says be the nice guy to other women just for compliments from them, or a little flirting with other, you know. I transitioned from the nice guy answer, but I don't know. It's
Okay. That's something good to think about too. Because I do feel there has to be a level of attraction. I personally have dated several men that I was not attracted to. And I guess from experience, I can say this. And one of them was a very long relationship. There was no physical attraction. But this man, not what society would view as like an attractive person by any means, but he was the most fucking confident person. Because I've dated some men who look like models that are the most insecure men I have ever met, and it is such a turnoff. So I've dated men that were not attractive, but they had some very attractive qualities, and like it provided longevity, even though I was not even sexually attracted to them. So it's an interesting dynamic. Maybe it's a men versus women thing. I don't know.
I think, yeah, women definitely don't value the looks as much, and they can settle more for like the confident role, which, like, yeah, any confident man, no matter what size, what they look like, they will get some very attractive women because, it makes them feel secure. So that's just the truth. But we can't really understand that because I guess it might even just be an evolution thing. Like DNA
Yep.
wants to DNA. The most powerful force in the world is our DNA trying to make us fuck all the time.
Exactly. I think men are more visual creatures too. I think that plays into it as well.
Yeah, absolutely. But different levels to it, right? Being a man and female, like on an attractive level and what we were willing to settle for, sure. But I think it equals out at the end of the day. It's just one of those thoughts I'm thinking out loud. It equals out as in you were still having sex with your partner, obviously, even though you may not have. Did that not at some point, and then after it was over, did that not make you think you want someone you're absolutely attracted to?
Do you mean after the act of sex itself or the relationship? Which one?
I guess all of it.
I can say from a more recent experience that for me, it was like coming out of my relationship with my Costa Rican ex that I had. It was like soulmate kind of relationship. And then after that, I took my time to heal. 5 months, didn't date, didn't talk to anyone. And then one of my guy friends who had been like chasing me for a very long time, who is unattractive, but he has a lot of confidence. So he gets beautiful women all the time. So, whatever, I decided to enter into something just to get my physical needs met. Oh, now I'm losing my voice. Cool. To get my physical needs met. And I remember initially sleeping with him and like being kind of grossed out. Like, it sounds terrible to say this. I'm like, I'm not keeping my eyes open. There's going to be certain positions. Okay. Like, you got to be behind me. But as we grew closer, then it became different. When I started to appreciate the other qualities that he had, I developed an attraction to that. And so even then, like sex was like not the same. Whereas initially I was like grossed out. And then when I started developing a little bit of feelings, then it was like, okay, it's not so bad. You're not that ugly. But but yeah, so I think that's what happens. So I think women can develop some sort of attachment to a man who is maybe not super physically attractive. And there are those qualities that can be that attractive that make it, I don't want to say easier to have sex with them, but more enjoyable and not put so much emphasis on like their physical appearance during sex.
I am so glad I put you on my list of people I fuck with. Like you're literally number 2 on that list.
Thank you.
Because the way you just described all of this, the wordings you used as honest and pure, I've been trying to get that answer from someone for a lifetime, probably. Like, fuck you, looks matter, don't deny it.
They do to an
And then, like, be
extent,
honest.
but I think women, yeah, they can develop an attachment based on other things that are not physical.
Yeah, and this is the part I also want to express the side of a man hearing a statement like that. Like, I met someone during work. First, I'm like, definitely not my type, just physically not my type at first glance. Then we end up spending 3 hours together side by side.
Yeah.
And the personality was outstanding. I saw her interacting with kids that really touched a place in my heart.
Yeah.
Like everything I saw, I was like, I am definitely asking this woman out,
Oh,
and she's not my type. So stuff like that, like men and women are 100% capable of it, and that's one of those things I like expressing on this like duality of this podcast. It can be a statement like, yeah, women usually do this on that, but men do it. We just don't talk about it. That's all.
yeah, it's not cool to be a guy
Women
and
like,
be like, oh, I'm banging a 3. No, I think that's where ego, like men's ego, comes into play too.
yeah, and I think that might have been one of the things that could devastate. Let's say we ended up dating, we ended up being in a relationship, all that stuff. She ended up having a boyfriend, but all of those things happened at some point. Am I considering flirting with other women and all those things for my ego, or is it really like a physical need? I don't know. I have experienced that. I think a lot of men jump to the conclusion that it's a need. Like, I don't know. You've seen those podcasts that like completely shit on women, but they have women and men on all the time. And they're like, no, we should be able to have sex with whoever we want, and you should submit to us, and you should not fuck anyone else. I'm like, that feels extreme, bro. I don't know about that. That might be a you problem.
Yeah. That's definitely some other underlying issues there.
But some of the stuff they make on those podcasts, like I was keeping an open mind. Yeah, some of the things they say, like, yes, we don't want to date a porn star. Yes, we don't want to date a stripper.
Right.
Like, we do not see, I don't care like what level of man you are. You could be just complete fuckboy material, and you could still not want to actually permanently be with someone that is stripping for a living.
Yeah.
Or even OnlyFans and your friends tell you about it. That's probably the case.
Yeah.
Like, just being a man, I'm telling all my diverse group of friends, I'm not telling you you have to view it this way. I'm just telling you from my hundreds of friends that I've encountered being men, like, yeah, they don't want that.
Which is, from my own perspective, if I was a dude, I wouldn't want that either. But I have a lot of friends that are strippers. I have a lot of friends that do OnlyFans, and they've all got men. So somebody's dating them. Somebody is okay with it.
Someone's dating. Yeah. And same, I have all tons of stripper friends and all those career fields too. And yes, someone's dating. I hate to generalize, but just from my experience, I was deep into it. Like I used to go to strip clubs a shit ton.
Yeah, me too.
Tons,
I worked
like,
at one. I wasn't a stripper though. I did model service. I was young. I was a baby. I needed the money.
It happens. Honestly, if I was a female, I probably I would have done so.
It was a real short stint. Yeah.
But you developed like a lot of friends from there, and it probably continued, right?
Oh yeah, no, absolutely.
You're just always an open person.
Yeah, that's why I have friends.
Yeah, being around that environment, especially at an early age, you're pretty much set for the rest of your life to not really judge like career fields. You're more open with people. You see that area. But the problem is like when that's your career, and this is just one of my thoughts, you're indulged in the lustful life, you know? Very much so. So every stripper I've met has cheated on their boyfriend, guaranteed, whether it was with me or with another friend.
100%.
Yeah, and I don't feel bad about it because I know if they cheated on their man with me, they're gonna do it with another person too. Whether I paid for it or whether it was just free because they had needs that day.
Yep,
it happened. It's most healthy relationship.
No.
Yeah,
I think some guys just don't care. But I also think, because when I think about the men that these women are dating, these men are like shitbags. Like they're not good guys. They're not like quality men. Yeah. So it's like maybe they're like the bottom of the barrel men, and that's what's fine for them.
Yeah, on the surface, they may have a lot of attention, they're bravado, drug dealers, whatever they're doing.
Yep.
But no, from an actual societal standpoint, they're at bottom barrel.
Mm-hmm.
It's we could get canceled for everything we're saying right now, but it's just true.
It is.
And this is what we
It
feel.
is true though. And it doesn't even have to be like drug dealers or whatever. Like I know some of my stripper friends are in relationships with NFL players and it's, oh, they have a lot of money and all that stuff, but the character of that person is not great. They're just shit. So, is what it is.
It is. And unsettling. Do you catch yourself from time to time wanting to settle for the needs you have? This is one thing that's been in my head a lot recently too. And we might wrap it up after this one.
Okay.
Like you have those physical needs and you're trying to also be healthy and only give sex to those people that have earned it, right? You see where I'm going with this. You don't want to be a fucking hoe, right?
Yeah.
And especially you being attractive, like you're definitely gonna get called out.
Yeah,
depending on what
no,
your answer is.
exactly.
It's up to you on how to be, but I'll tell you from my side. This way, maybe it opens you up. But for sure, I'm having those debates. Like I'm losing some weight, and I know physical appearance matters, and my options will eventually open up a little bit more. Completely being honest, my options aren't that much right now, so it's easy for me to say right now, yes, I do want only sex with meaningful connections and dating. That is my answer. That is what I want.
Yeah.
I want actual meaningful. I don't want hookups. They don't mean anything to me. I know by now it makes me feel more miserable than anything.
Yep.
But my options open up. It's just like inevitable with the path I'm on. And then I don't know. Hey, we click, but I know you're not gonna have feelings for me, and I'm not gonna have feelings for you.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's tough. And one more thing before I let you answer. Even recently, so when I met, it's like I immediately said we are not compatible, but we can have fun. And then a couple days passed. Luckily, we didn't do anything besides some simple stuff. I'm like, I don't want to put this person through this because I can tell they are already liking me. And even though I tell them we're not compatible, I can see that they're wanting at least the emotional intimacy and they're willing to give me the physical intimacy to get that emotional intimacy. And that when you know that, like how painful is it? Like, do I want to be that person? I know she's going to do this to just get her emotional needs met.
Yeah.
So no, I cut it off.
Good for you.
And I try to do it as healthy as possible. Thank you.
Most men will not do that.
But no, I was like, I did want my dick sucked. Are you kidding me? I fucking definitely want my dick sucked.
I know.
But as options open up and as the attraction levels get better to even just the woman that I might have those debates with, I wouldn't want to put someone through it if they're like emotional and I don't want to get emotionally attached with them. But physically having fun and we both agree, like I can't say I'm like 50-50 on that. Like, yeah, I'm still young. Like maybe I do want to have fun, but it's also you subscribe yourself to that mentality. It's going to be hard when you do meet someone and you still have that mentality, right?
Yep.
It's that elasticity. But yeah, go ahead. Your thoughts.
Man, I mean, I don't know how deep I want to go because I'm in a similar situation right now. And it's very
deep they get in your gut.
Huh? What?
However deep they get in your guts. Okay.
Oh, God.
You can go there.
So, yeah. So, it's very interesting. I had a date with this guy, and he has all the qualities that I'm looking for. I'm very physically attracted. He's ambitious, driven, and shit that I love. And so on the first date, I wrote him off because he had went through a really bad breakup like 3 months before. And on the date, it was very clear to me that he still hadn't processed that relationship. And so he was very attractive. Anyways, what happened was I was like, okay, I know this man is not going to be like relationship material. And I was like, should I fuck with it? Should I not? Should I fuck with it? Should I not? Is he damaged goods? And then he ended up going out of town after our second date. And anyways, and so we had a long conversation and I was like, you have the qualities I'm looking for. And I said, I just don't think that you are ready to do anything. I said, I feel like you're dissociating from like your pain and you're just trying to replace that with someone else. And so anyways, we started having a conversation. He's like, no, I think I'm good to go. And then we met up when he got back, and things happened, okay, that I didn't plan on happening. But there was a lot of sexual connection. And so now I'm in this place where, and I had the discussion with him also yesterday. And I was like, I feel like this is not what I'm looking for. I'm not looking for something casual. Like, I'm dating with intent right now to find a partner. And yes, I have physical needs, but at the same time, like this situation, I feel like I'm self abandoning because this is not going to go down the path of what I'm looking for. So I do feel like I self abandoned for not emotional needs, but for my physical needs. And so I literally just had that discussion yesterday. So yeah.
I'm really proud of you for being so honest about that. So thank you. One of the reasons I want this duality of this podcast is for other men and women watching this podcast. Amanda on the other side is exactly the type of woman I'd want to be with. She's physically attractive. She's honest. She's vulnerable, but she's also human. And these are the parts I wanted to highlight. Us just being in this aspect of communication, I get to see the real side of you. This is your life. You are still vulnerable to hooking up to meet your physical needs, but you are also secure, more secure than most human beings in the dating pool, even in their 40s.
Yeah, thank you.
That's what I want everyone to see, is how, like, seeing you for that, right? Like, someone may judge you hardcore if they see this saying, oh, you hooked up anyway, you abandoned yourself, you're not ready.
We all do that.
But this is, yeah. And so I wanted, even for me, like, I would judge you for that as well. Yes. And I'm being fully honest with you on that as a man, because if I make this up, like, it's okay. Like, no, there's still a part of me that would either get jealous, maybe. So then maybe I look at that and say, okay, obviously there's some part of me that's insecure about something. Maybe that's on me. Mm-hmm. Or I'm just not okay with this behavior, and that's my boundary. Like, talking with you in this format helps me personally figure out what it is once I see the human inside someone, that, okay, most people are like this, that we're just, that's it. I'm trying to get opinions out of perspective rather than just judging automatically.
Yeah, I love that. You can judge me if you want. I really don't care.
How much did you shame yourself for that?
A little bit. I was upset with myself.
And you just talked about it yesterday, so this was a recent thing, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
What is the answer to that? Where you caught it quick, obviously. This is probably quicker than ever before in your life, right? That's not what you, the day it wasn't sex. It was about the abandoning yourself. Mm-hmm. This is also one of those things, like, you just have to experience it enough times as you grow to know where you stand too, right? Yep. Maybe this recent hookup caught it quicker, and you're just like, okay, drop a little more.
Yeah, no, it's true.
No.
Oh, he just texted me.
Okay. He's like, don't expose me.
Did you tap my phone? No, so through therapy, I've tried to learn not to shame myself, and no negative self-talk, unless I'm being sarcastic and it's not real. But I did catch myself just being upset with myself that I did that, because I'm like, I'm so firm in my boundaries, and like the boundaries that, and just my expectations with men. Like, I've dated really good guys, and it never got to the point of sex because I never felt safe with them. And so I don't know, man. I know I abandoned myself because I needed that physical need met, but then it's like, where do I go from that with this guy now who's not ready for a commitment? I still have physical needs, and the sex is great. So it's really, I've been like trying to figure out, like, what do I even do with this?
Yes. I'm with you exactly. And you felt safe with him, right?
Yeah, like physically safe. He's a really nice guy. Yeah.
That's where it's dangerous, right? Like, you feel safe and it's not going anywhere. It's probably not going to work out. And that's what gives you permission almost to say, let me have a little bit of fun. There's just no right or wrong, right?
I know. And
there's just no right or wrong.
And to be very fair, because I don't want it to look like I'm using him, I had a discussion with him and I said, look, I don't want to objectify you. And he was like, objectify me all you want. I was like, okay.
Talk that shit.
Talk me into it.
Consent achieved.
That's where I'm at, which is
Well,
basically I have no answer to where I'm at.
yeah, and you know what? I would actually love to end it on that note. We don't have the answers on that, and this is what we're experiencing as a 40-year-old female and as a 27-year-old male. These are the experiences of our special victims unit of this podcast.
Okay.
Yeah, honestly, we're just gonna close it on that, and next week we'll have more shit to talk about along this note. I hope at this point I am probably going to take stuff out of this podcast and make it a thing, because I really did enjoy this conversation with you. And do I have your consent to use this entire footage? However I wish?
Consent, yes. Just don't send it to this guy. I'm just kidding. Just kidding.
Deal. I'm taking that confirmation right